was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms. And I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Ms. Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioTE, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioTE, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
News Talk West Tennessee includes newstalk965.com and Newstalk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Vols Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and newstalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
And she said, look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica. You're entering a country without a passport. Should never have happened because I do not have a passport. The woman at the gate did not do her job.
Barbaric.
Everyone, thank you so much for this award. I make these films for you. I love you. I love entertaining you. To know how much you enjoy it, how much you appreciate it, there's just no better feeling. And I hope you enjoy Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. It'll be coming out July. It is a wild ride. You have a wonderful summer. Thank you again for letting me entertain you. It's an absolute privilege. We'll see you at the movies.
What do you think out here?
He was my friend. We used to laugh and do things together. Then everything changed. In just a moment. A blink of an eye. Now I laugh for both of us. Because he's grounded until after college. Please, don't eat a whole rotisserie chicken and drive. It's just not worth it.
This is not headline news. Both the coronation of King Charles and the Kentucky Derby were held over the weekend. It was the biggest weekend ever for stupid hats. The World Health Organization declared the COVID pandemic over. Miley Cyrus responded to the news with a celebratory pole licking. There's a new ranking of the country's most obese states. So congrats, West Virginia, on being number one in something other than cousin marriage and meth lab explosions. And last night's MTV Movie and TV Awards went without an audience. They got the idea from CNN. This is not headline news.
The weekend it was. Good Monday afternoon. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley. Hi, Gina.
Hey, Danny.
How are you today?
I'm really good. Really good. How about you?
Fantastic. Dan is great.
As usual.
Nice third-person reference here. Larry Newman is in the house. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
How are you, sir?
Tolerable.
Well, let us be the judge of that.
That's something to look forward to
It
for the
is.
next 3 hours.
Boy, I tell you, when it comes to lowering the bar, Larry, you've really raised the bar.
I got skills.
It's 84 degrees.
It's balmy.
It is. If you're outside for less than 5 minutes, it's going to get moist out there, and Larry, the humidity. It feels like it's 95 degrees.
Oh, my word.
Right now. Hello.
Here we go.
Hello, in a state that's not far behind West Virginia, and having a few extra pounds. It's not pleasant outside at all right now. It's humid, Larry. Let's run down the weather, brought to you by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses fast for cash. DustinBuys.com. DustinBuys.com. Not just houses. Dustin buys land, trailers, fast for cash. DustinBuys.com. Larry Newman.
Currently 84 degrees. It feels like 86 in Jackson, Tennessee. Tonight, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. A chance of showers and thunderstorms later in the evening, about around midnight. The low will be 67. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 40%. Barometric pressure in Bemis 29.91. So that'll make Bemis happy. Tomorrow, high of 79, 40% chance of storms. Tuesday night, 62. Wednesday, 80 degrees, partly sunny. Wednesday night, 62, mostly cloudy.
Thank you, Larry. That's Larry Newman. Look at the weather, and we got some breaking news here. This just broke. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee calls for a special session on gun legislation for August 21st. Now, Tennessee lawmakers will return to Nashville on August the 21st, for a special session on potential gun reform legislation. So here's what we know. This came in from Governor Lee in a statement, quotes, after speaking with members of the General Assembly, I'm calling for a special session on August the 21st to continue our important discussion about solutions to keep Tennessee communities safe and preserve the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. Close quote. Republican Governor Bill Lee just released this in a statement. He went on to say, quote, there is broad agreement that action is needed, and in the weeks ahead, we'll continue to listen to Tennesseans and pursue thoughtful, practical measures that strengthen the safety of Tennesseans, preserve Second Amendment rights, prioritize due process protections, support law enforcement, and address mental health. Close quotes. In the final days of legislative session that adjourned last month, Lee made an 11th hour pitch for lawmakers to pass a very limited extreme risk protection order law designed to keep firearms out of the hands of individuals who pose an immediate risk of harm to themselves or others. He didn't put a percentage on that, but if I was asked to put a percentage on who would fall under in that category, I'd say about 90% of the people I know.
Yeah.
In this room.
Might as well be high.
Well, that would add another degree of difficulty. It would. And Dr. Sean Evans, Union University political science professor, would represent the other 10% of people in this room.
Oh,
come on in here, Doc. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
Well, we're doing fantastic.
Good.
I think you know Larry.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Gina?
Yes, absolutely.
Good to see you again.
Thank you for having me back.
That's Dr. Sean Evans. And you head up the political science department at Union, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And have you heard this? Governor Lee calling a special session on gun reform.
I know he was talking about it. When did he decide to call it?
August 21st.
August, okay.
Yep. And I didn't check, but I'm assuming it's the year 2023.
Yes.
I tell you though, he could take some advice and try to push that till his second 4-year term expires, because he didn't get much. He didn't find that he was very friendly when he asked the legislators to stick around. I believe the response was, "That's a non-starter when it comes to guns." What do you think? What do you think here?
I think for many members of the state legislature, that is probably accurate. That is an unfortunate thing, because I think we're just going to continue to see that gun violence is going to continue. And I think from the right's perspective, and this is strictly from a political perspective, if you do nothing, you're just building up support for things that will be worse for your side. I know that everybody talks about a constitutional amendment or constitutional protections for guns. But constitutional amendments are not self-enforcing. Look at the civil rights amendments after
Charles
the
and the
Civil
Kentucky
War.
Derby were held over the weekend.
That was my bad on that one, Doc. I'll take
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
So,
that scare you, Larry? I almost
I'm
got
glad
out
I
of the
didn't do
desk.
that, Larry.
We're talking guns, and that cranked up.
Yeah. So, I mean, the basic idea is we still expect courts and political officials to enforce it. And if you just constantly say no, you do nothing about it, then you just build support for things that you would hate even worse.
Okay, to explain that, I'm not sure I'm totally with you. Do you understand that?
I need just a little. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
cluing in
You're
here.
gonna have to. You're gonna have to dumb it down.
Dumb it down a little bit for this audience here.
Okay. Well,
Meaning me.
No. Okay, so there are a lot of people on the right who claim that the Second Amendment protects the right to guns, and the idea is that it says it, so therefore they can have their guns and do whatever they want. But the simple thing we have to remember is that constitutional rights are not self-enforcing. Just because it's in the Constitution does not mean that it actually happens. Someone has to enforce it. Someone has to protect it. And if we look at American history, there have been constitutional amendments that have not been enforced because the politics made it difficult to do so. And so many people on the right are saying, hey, we've got 6 conservative justices on the Supreme Court. We can have all these constitutional rights extended to protect us. But as we have found out in history, and in particular last year, court precedents can be overturned. And so I think by not dealing with, what are some common sense reforms, that they are creating more support for more extreme actions, which would endanger their gun rights even more.
I want to get Gina and Larry your thoughts on this and what Professor Evans just said, Dr. Evans, and when we come back. So stay right there. And we want to know how you feel about it, because I read a poll where like 80% of Americans now, and then about the same number of Tennesseans want to see some common sense gun legislation. And not only when it comes to gun legislation in America, it also crosses over into health care. The two, right now, poster child to alert us that we no longer live in a representative republic. And I want to hear Dr. Evans' thoughts on that. When we return here on the program, it's 84 degrees at 3:24 in the afternoon. It's May 8th. It's Strawberry Festival Week. We'll be there on Friday. Speaking of the Strawberry Festival, Humboldt, Tennessee, Gene Langley Ford. This is the Gene Langley Ford studio. The dealership is at 3500 East End Drive in Humboldt, now straddling East End Drive. On one side, it's the new car division. The other side of the street, it's the pre-owned division of Gene Langley Ford. You can shop online 24/7 at GeneLangleyFord.com. You can also take advantage of the concierge service provided by the Gene Langley Ford Service Department. That's complimentary. Not the actual service, but picking up your vehicle, taking it into their award-winning service department, and whatever service they do. Could be an oil change, maybe something more serious. Then they'll deliver it right back to your home or your office. No charge for pickup and delivery within a 15-mile radius of Gene Langley Ford. That's just another reason why the local people just doing it better. Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. It is 95 degrees, the real feel out there. Jeez, it is. That's the way it is, man. It's just one day we wake up and it's summer. It's no gradual frog in a boiling water sort of thing.
No, it's not subtle. Boom.
It's not subtle at all, is it? Much like Larry Newman. Larry's like
I'm like
subtle.
summer.
I'm
just on you.
I think Larry, you remind me of a Great Dane turned loose at a toddler's birthday party when the toddlers are wearing, walking around with some bacon or something, Imagine that. We'll be right back. Dr. Sean Evans in the studio, political science professor, the head of the political science department at Union University.
Opinions are like smartphones. Everybody has one. Text your opinion to us on the News Talk West Tennessee text line. Text 731-800-TEXT. That's 731-800-8398. The News Talk West Tennessee text line, presented by Advanced Rehab and Medical. Dr. Shannon Bone is ranked in the top 10 of the world's best chiropractors. Visit AdvancedRehabJackson.com and say goodbye to neck and back pain. Text 731-800-TEXT. That's 731-800-8398. Don't text and drive.
Flash sale just for mom. Flash sale May 8th through May 12th at King Jewelers. This Mother's Day, show mom some love with sparkling jewelry from King Jewelers. Don't miss out on this 1 week only sale from May 8th to May 12th. Just for mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for mom. Choose from select loose diamonds and stud earrings. Diamond stud earrings a whopping 50% off from May 8th to May 12th. Just for mom. Everything in stock is on sale just for mom. Just for mom. And that's not all. All jewelry 30 to 70% off and watches are 10% off. Give mom the gift she deserves this Mother's Day. It's a flat.
Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
Every pest control company has access to the same products. The Southeastern difference is the way we go to market. We don't believe that you should have to take out a bank loan to protect your home. You have more value to us as a lifelong customer, not as a one-and-done sale from a slick salesman. We can still be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Termite and pest control, fungus and moisture barriers, attic installation, or just about anything else. Our services are guaranteed. 731-660-1052.
Hey everybody, this is Chandler Lewis with Dean Langley Ford. Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland. The heart of this beast is a 2.0 EcoBoost, producing 250 horsepower and 277 foot-pounds of torque. And it does power a 4x4 system, which means you can get over any terrain possible. To go over any obstacle you have a 17-inch gray aluminum wheel wrapped in a all-terrain Pirelli tire. Now to the back, you're looking at 65 cubic feet of space, which means you can fit 3 golden retrievers back here, groceries, or even if you're a college student moving boxes. But no matter what, you can celebrate by opening a bottle. Now moving on to the interior, you have an ebony roast with heated front seats. You do have a 8-inch display backed with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now one of my favorite parts is the GOAT modes. So as I was talking about earlier, you have 7 different drive modes. The GOAT modes is what gets you to that different terrain. So if you guys liked anything I spoke about, the horsepower, cargo space, or even the interior, come see me today at Gene Langley Ford. Again, Chandler Lewis.
Every pest control company has access to the same products. The Southeastern difference is the way we go to market. We don't believe that you should have to take out a bank loan to protect your home. You have more value to us as a lifelong customer, not as a one-and-done sale from a slick salesman. We can still be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Termite and pest control, fungus and moisture barriers, attic installation, or just about anything else. Our services are guaranteed. 731-660-1052.
Hey everybody, this is Chandler Lewis with Dean Langley Ford. Today I'm going to talk about the 23 Bronco Sport Badland.
(800-8398). The News Talk West Tennessee text line, presented by Advanced Rehab and Medical. Dr. Shannon Bone is ranked in the top 10 of the world's best chiropractors. Visit advancedrehabjackson.com and say goodbye to neck and back pain. Text 731-800-TEXT. That's 731-800-8398. Don't text and drive.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk WTN.com.
335. Holding steady at 84 degrees. That heat index feels like it's 94 degrees on the outside. Holy moly. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley, Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
And Dr. Sean Evans, head of the Political Science Department. Dr. Sean Evans with Union University. We'd love you to join us. CWA phone lines, the number to dial us up is 731-265-6496. 731-265-6496 to join us on the phones. Presented by CWA Developments. They specialize in commercial and residential renovation and restoration. You can text the program, Advanced Rehab and Medical text line, 731-800-TEXT, 731-800-8398. Shoot us over a text. We'll read it right over the air for you. 731-800-8398. 731-800-TEXT. Visit AdvancedRehabJackson.com. Dr. Shannon Bone, ranked in the top 10 for chiropractors on planet Earth. Okay. Gina, did you want to respond to what Dr. Evans said? Where do we leave that? A lot has happened since we left you.
So the thing we fight the most ends up being a more a worse adversary?
Yes.
So, is that right?
So at times your victories are Pyrrhic victories. They are victories in name only. And so
Is that like being Republican in name only? What's the acronym? Victory.
Yeah, Rhino. Oh yes. So this
Vino.
would be
Vino. Okay. We like
Vino.
acronyms.
Yeah.
Vino.
I like that. See, you may have coined a new phrase there.
Larry, copyright that while you're not doing anything.
got that, Larry?
We'll get T-shirts. Go ahead, Don.
So, okay, I'm trying to put my head around this. The thing we fight the most becomes a tougher adversary. Is that what you're trying? Is that, or am I missing the boat totally here?
No, I think you're headed in the right direction as far as that goes. I mean, the thing is, look, Dan said that 80% support some kind of gun reforms. And so to a certain extent, when you have 80% wanting something and they don't get it, it radicalizes them. And so when you radicalize them, they start pushing for something different. So one of the things we talk about in policy is moving the Overton window. So the idea is that there is a window to where officials are willing to do policy in. And so most of the time we move in small incremental steps because the public doesn't want much. But this leads people to say, okay, if you won't go for this, they go for more radical type stuff. And by proposing more radical solutions, you move the Overton window of what is acceptable in a direction you don't like. So right now we're talking about, or Governor Lee is talking about red flag laws or extreme risk protection orders. That's within the realm of possible. But if you don't do that, people start saying, let's go even more radical than that, to where you get to the point of we're banning types of weapons. It could be we've got waiting periods that are not a week, they're 30 days. We go for personal locks on guns and other things, so that when you buy a gun, they kind of fingerprint you on that, to where the only person who can use it is the person who has bought the gun. Right. And so you make possible things that were never possible in the first place.
Well, pardon me. It's so red in our state. I mean, I can smell the color red. It was so red. And Governor Lee is a Republican. He's red. And I can already, people are saying, he's red in name only. There's another one, Larry. Oh, that's the same as Rhino.
Right.
So what is it?
But here is the thing he needs to remember. the people who are saying that are not representative of the state. They're not representative of the Republican Party at large, because you mentioned those ideas like 80% support X. If you do polling of Republicans, you still find majority support for a lot of these. It's the activists, those activists who are the ones who are making all of the noise. And
but you know, that's Sean. Pardon me, but yeah, the majority of Republicans want to see common sense legislation with guns in Tennessee, and I think that I shouldn't say trigger this, but it's. I mean, yesterday over the weekend we saw in Allen, Texas. It's every day. Well, I mean, if the day ends in a Y, we expect to see or hear about gun violence in America, a mass shooting. And I hate to say this, but I mean, it's just reporting what's happening out there. So how do you square this up with, and then continue to say we're a representative republic on things like not taking our guns away, because now that they see these polls and the majority of Americans want to see common sense gun legislation, I've noticed they've cranked up the heat when it comes to propaganda. Some say propaganda. CNN, by the way, has moved over to the right. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Hell has frozen over.
Yeah, they have fired their left-leaning host, the most left-leaning, and the other ones, they're going to have to start going along to get along. I mean, we're here to make money, folks, is what they told them. So how do you square this and sell it as a representative republic when you have numbers so high when it comes to American people wanting sensible gun legislation and some reform with health care?
Well, that's a
big question.
That's
Dan.
a big question to
and I
answer.
have something.
And we want answers.
Yeah,
we want answers.
And you want answers. Well, here's what I would say. I am a firm believer in representative government. I don't always think that we're doing a very good job of it.
What do you gauge the job being done right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, horrible.
It's also going to depend where we're at. States are better at it than Congress is. So I mean, this whole debt ceiling debate. The idea of representative government is that we are letting people to make good decisions for us, that they are guided by our ideas, but they're not always beholden to them, because the idea is I can write a poll and I can get a response due to the way I write that poll. So the idea is we expect people to sit down and talk things through and try to figure out what the real problem is and what the real solution is, and then try to do something about that. And that requires debate, deliberation, and thought, and that's not something that we do very well of. I think one of the problems we have today is that our politics rewards celebrity, not effectiveness.
I'm good with that.
So I agree.
We're celebrities.
Yeah,
we're good. We're part of the 0.1%.
Dan's a celebrity.
He's okay.
Yeah.
She's not warmed up to it yet.
No, he's the celebrity.
Well, he is for Jackson. Yes. So that.
Well, now,
Jackson.
But no, wait just a minute.
Big fish, little pond.
That's right. And you're in my pod. It's what the narrator says. Oh, you Jackson famous, dog.
You Jackson famous, dog.
I do love Jackson. I tell you that.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, we look at this. Look at the people who are invited onto the TV shows. They're the show horses, not the work horses.
Right.
I mean,
the irony in that, you've been invited to a TV show. Here you say.
Yeah. Well. Oops. Yeah. So,
ladies and gentlemen, he's also known as our show horse.
As a show horse. Yes. Well, hey,
he's the. That's right. This man is
great.
He's the Clydesdale when it comes to political science. Professor, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, but I mean, that's part of the idea is, I mean, they're on TV because they're great at sound clips, at sound bites. They're great at making controversy. So we are rewarding people who make extreme comments. And I won't just limit this to the politicians. Think about all the so-called experts that they have on TV who give a position that they think is what wants to be heard. I mean, there have been people who haven't been partisan enough.
I think he's attacking me, Larry. I don't.
No.
Yeah, see how it always going to loop back to Dan
it's always
Reeves,
going.
We talked about that
Not
one time
always.
before. Always.
It is. Well, we are living in the Dan Reeves world. So
Exactly.
I mean,
It's his world.
Yeah.
We are
that's
merely
something.
in it.
Yes,
exactly.
yes. So,
Have you
Exactly.
noticed? Look around. It's a storm shelter. It's a bunker. That's my world.
So I mean, what I would love to see happen with this is whenever they put like these people on TV, put like their legislative scorecard right there below them. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene or
Is
Alexandria
nutcase.
Ocasio.
Did you say mental patient?
Cortez. No,
I said nutcase.
I'm not going there. Well, I mean, so
I
here-
shouldn't call names. It's terrible. Forgive
Here's-
me, Lord.
Well, she does.
Here's kind of part of it. You've heard of the idea of cherry picking the facts
Right.
to get
I
what
like cherries,
you,
yeah.
you want. We have this problem of nut picking. We pick.
We're a bunch of squirrels.
We pick the nuts to put on TV, and that makes everyone thinks this is what everyone in that party is like. The MTGs and the AOCs do not reflect the vast majority of their parties. If it comes to passing stuff, they're over. 0 for 10, 20, 50,
Well,
whatever
but
they
she's
do.
been placed on the Homeland Security Committee. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean,
She
is
chased
this-
down, was it Parkland
Yes,
parents?
right. That was
and
no,
accused-
not a parent, a kid.
Yeah, kids.
What a lovely human
Yeah.
being, you know?
But it seems to
But-
be that somewhere, somehow, some places, that's exactly who they want. They want Marjorie Taylor Greene. They want Lauren Boebert. They want Matt Gaetz. They want Nancy Pelosi. I mean, let's go
money,
both
though.
parties here.
It makes them money.
For that
the
thing.
crazy town makes them money.
Because the thing we have to remember with media is we have okay, well here I'm in trouble here.
No, I
Yes,
kid.
As you sit in a radio,
yeah, in
studio, yes.
Well, but here's the thing: we have to be informative, but we also have to be entertaining at the same time.
Yeah.
So
yes,
we,
but and I agree with both of those. But the other part that we shouldn't be, and it flies in the face of what our founding fathers, who we love, sometimes, until it comes to that point they made about, in order to keep this democracy, we must have an informed citizenry, and we don't have that anymore.
well, I'm not sure we've ever had that before.
That's also
on this. But
I wouldn't disagree with that, but you know, I think you would agree it's worse than ever.
yeah, here is the problem. The most informed people are the most misinformed people because they are seeking out news that reinforces what they already believe.
There's a lot of truth to that. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that is the problem. And the thing is, people are so tied into motivated reasoning to where even if you put one nut with a bunch of normal people, if the nut says
do that.
something that tells them what they already believe, they're going with that.
It's a direct shot at you, Larry. I can tell you that right now.
No.
I felt it.
Yeah.
This man is a nut. So, well, and when we come back, I want to ask you about. Pardon me. Is there a pollen alert, Larry? Did you notice that
My
on your
eyes
weather?
feel like there's a pollen alert.
Yeah,
on
I
fire.
do too, Gina. You and I think we are really doing the yeoman's work around here as far as suffering from pollen, that life-giving powder.
That is.
I used to have a white car, didn't you?
It's kind of a greeny, orangey color right now.
And there's no escaping this.
No.
You can park in the garage all you want to.
Or you can
pollen
leave
will
West
get there.
Tennessee. That's what that's what your options are.
That's right. Well, and also we come back. I want to get this roundtable thoughts on Tucker Carlson. 30% of his audience left Fox News. Now there's talk around the political campfire. What would happen if we get Tucker Carlson together with Donald Trump? We would own the Republican Party, and that's an alliance is very, very possible. We'll talk about that when we come back. It's great to have you along with us today. We just really enjoy being able to talk with you on a daily basis, don't we?
We do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely we do. All of you out there. Just don't be so sensitive. I mean, Larry's somewhat like an exotic bird. Any sudden movement, he'll fly away. He's gone. You know what I mean? No reasonable person would believe what my client says. We'll be right back.
Into number 2, a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me.
The Southside Hawks play here. 96.5 FM, News Talk West Tennessee. NewsTalkWTN.com.
Hey y'all, this is Mary at Mulligan's. Come see us soon before the new wears off. Hard to believe, but we're coming upon an anniversary in our locally family-owned business at Union University Drive. We still have our daily lunch specials, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which will remind you of Grandma's cooking. Or try our Irish dishes, fish and chips, Reuben's and shepherd's pie, or everyone's favorite, the Mully Burger. And how about brunch on Saturdays and Sundays? Yep, every weekend, serving Jackson for over 25 years. See you soon at Mulligan's.
Pansies, poppies, and daffodils aren't the only spring things popping up all over West Tennessee. Beautiful deals on new 2023 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are blooming right now at Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley. Come by our lot at 3500 Easton Drive in Humboldt or visit us online at GeneLangleyFord.com. You'll see our personalized service, guaranteed financing, and lifetime powertrain warranty make buying your new Ford a bright and sunny experience. Or customize your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and apply for financing online at GeneLangleyFord.com, and when it arrives, we'll deliver it right to your driveway. In the market for a pre-owned vehicle, we have a huge selection on all makes and models, updated daily at GeneLangleyFord.com. And as everyone knows, if you ever have any service needs, our service department is known area-wide as the best in the business. Regardless of your make or model, we'll get you back on the road in no time. Whether it's a new Ford, a used vehicle, or service, you really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service bill.
See dealer for warranty details.
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. And while I was waiting in the waiting room, I saw a pop-up advertisement there, and I started reading over all the symptoms, and I went down the list. They all pertain to me. My experience with Miss Kim Nichols, my case manager for BioT, was great. She was very informative, put me at ease, went through everything step by step, knew exactly what to expect and what the outcome was going to be in the end. After BioT, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I can get off work, go home, catch my second wind, and I'm off to the races again. It doesn't matter if I'm working, selling cars, or if I'm on the boat fishing a tournament, I'm back to my old self again.
Give us a call at 731-318-5827 or visit our website at advancedrehabjackson.com for more.
Take us with you wherever you go. Download our free apps for Apple and Android. Visit NewsTalkWTN.com. Then click to download.
tried to swim against put me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and please, singing.
Watson's Cleaning Service. That's another. Well, here's another example of a local business just doing it better. Wouldn't you agree, Gina?
Oh, yeah.
Carlita Watson's the owner.
She's
Family
got a
owned
lot
and
of
operated.
style and personality,
She
too.
does. She really does. Great personality, but if you run into her when she's at work, she's going to be very short with you. And she's going to. You notice that, Larry? I don't think she likes
She's
you.
never short with me.
Just only you, Dan.
Just didn't.
You think this?
She's
you
just right chatty with me when I talk to her.
Do you mean that? You know what, Carlita? Can you call me?
He's feeling insecure, Carlita.
I felt insecure before this, but this only serves to. I think they're intentionally, personally attacking
We're being
my
mean to
character.
him. His poor little baby feelings is getting hurt.
Watson's Cleaning Service, they are the absolute best. They strip and wax floors, they mop, they clean offices, they pull trash, sweep and mop and vacuum, household cleaning, baseboards, wiping down walls, washing dishes, dusting and organizing. Essentially, they do all the work that Americans don't want to do. And when I say all Americans, I mean, well, me. For an example, they do that, they clean that big, gorgeous building setting at the corner of the bypass and airways. That is the house that Lanny Davis built, the West Tennessee, the UT Ag Experiment Station, I should say. That's huge. I think, Doc, the ceiling in there is like 1,700 feet up. It's huge. Now, it could be off by, I don't know, 1,700 feet, but it's big. By virtue of that, you can understand why they clean factories all the way down to a small office. Call them today at 731-293-3808. 731-293-3808. Watson's Cleaning Service. Family owned and operated.
Nothing else
And there's something else I want to get to in just a bit, Doc, is gerrymandering. The Democrats did it in Tennessee before the Republicans took power. But it seems to kick up more dust today than ever before. But it almost feels like that, at one time the people would pick the politicians. Now it seems like the politicians pick the people. Is that an overreaction or overstatement on my part?
Yes.
Figures. That's what I do for a living.
Okay. I will say this: the technology is there to where they can do things better than ever before. But the big problem is not gerrymandering; it's sorting.
Who is Jerry?
Elbridge Gerry, governor of Massachusetts, who basically drew a district to make sure a member of his party was elected. This was in the 1820s.
Oh, wow.
It looked like a salamander, so they called it a
Gerrymander.
gerrymander. So the thing about all this is the bigger problem is Democrats are concentrated in cities. Republicans are more efficiently spread out. So the idea is the Democrats win overwhelmingly in cities, which means they can win the they can win the popular vote because cities have more people. But there's much fewer Democrats in the rural areas. And since we have representation by geography, the Republicans have a built-in advantage now. Now, 20 years ago, the rural areas in Tennessee, in Middle and West, were Democratic. It's changed, and so
how many years ago?
Goes back to
Civil rights music.
2006.
But was that? Well, could you go back to It's at 2,000 because if Al Gore wins Tennessee, he wins the White House. And Tennesseans voted against one of their sons, Al Gore.
Yeah, well...
Would it help? Yeah. Do you think things would change, even a little bit, if we stopped preemptively giving away our votes?
Meaning what?
Voting along party lines. If we actually made them earn our votes.
But how do you propose to do that? I mean, the reason that people vote by party is that it is a easy shortcut to know if I vote this way, I'm getting X.
But do they get X? The answer is no.
They get an extreme version of X.
It's X-rated.
I like that, yeah.
Larry, will you see if that's copyrighted?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Thank you.
Extreme rated, yeah.
Yeah, my name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley, Larry Newman, and our guest is the great American Dr. Sean Evans. He heads up the Political Science Department of Union University. Okay. Questions, comments for our guest?
Well, we were chatting during the break, and John and I have this conversation quite a bit. On average, can we agree that about 70% of the country is probably considered moderate, somewhere in the middle of a left-right debate?
If we look at the numbers, about 40% are moderate, 35% conservative, about 25-30 are liberal. But here's the thing: most people don't know what liberal, moderate, and conservative means. So another way of looking at this is about 60%. They've got a lot of different views that don't line up with a strict ideological vote, which means they can support one party on one issue and support them on another issue, and support another party on another issue. So yeah, most people don't have firm ideas, which means they are persuadable.
So my husband and I have this conversation, and you and I were talking about it during the break. It seems to me that the extreme left and the extreme right get all the airtime. You know, my husband says they suck all the air out of the room, as in, you know, the common sense approach to running the country falls on the wayside to the left or right kind of whack jobs.
Yeah.
It would be so cruel.
So looking at it just from a kind of a callous business approach, is it, in your opinion, the media just making money, or is there something a little more psychologically based about it?
I think it's primarily about making money for this purpose. Hey, I got
we have a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yes,
there
come on. We go.
Dr. Sean Evans, come on down.
Yeah, so, I mean, part of this is we've moved to narrow casting. The idea is, I mean, when we were all growing up, we had three choices: ABC, CBS, and NBC. That's all we had. Today we have 1,000 choices. Right. And so the idea is, if you don't want news, you can avoid news, and most people don't want news. They avoid it.
Right.
So for these groups to find a niche to make money, they have to adopt a position which will appeal to that small niche.
And so that's where we get, like I call the Fox hell loop, where it's just, it seems like they're saying the same thing over and over again, and it's extremely, it's red meat to the base,
yes.
Pandering to the extreme right.
Yes,
and
it's extremely effective.
It is extremely effective, and then there
CNN's got to give it a go,
which is astonishing to me. It really, I mean,
why?
Yeah,
they want to make money.
Well, just from an ideological standpoint, but I totally get it.
I don't think
they're not in it for that.
No,
I know. I'm with you.
I understand how you feel, but I think it's evident. I don't think. Well, Rupert Murdoch may want to push us into fascism. No, he can't do this in Australia. They won't let him. They take democracy way too seriously.
Yeah, well, I do believe Rupert Murdoch supports a conservative point of view. Look at his news in Australia, Britain, and here.
But But that to me, that says, Doc, and not that I necessarily disagree with you, misleading people is not a conservative point of view.
Oh, sure. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And if we look at all the things from the text and the emails from the lawsuit, we saw that Rupert Murdoch's not happy with the direction that the Republican Party is going. And he actually has a ability to do something about it. He just hasn't, because it's that concern about, will we lose our audience?
Right.
And that's what constrained them.
I wonder at some point if he will start trying to work on getting into heaven. That happens a lot.
Look into
he's,
that.
He's in his 110s.
He's like 802, isn't
right. He? And you know what I mean? It's when what is happening with Fox News? And right now they're in the middle of negotiations. I don't know if they've got it worked out. You may know, with cable providers, cable companies. They want to up their fee to almost $1. If this goes through, it will mean an extra bill a year, extra $1 billion a year for Fox News. It's $2 billion if they don't sell one ad.
Right, but here's the other thing. First of all, people are cutting the cable, and so I'm not sure it's going to have the impact they think. Two is, it means that's higher costs they have to cut elsewhere. Who might they cut? Newsmax, and One America News, because people will prefer Fox over them, and so it's one way to try to cut out the conservative competition.
Well, it's a deep subject in it, Larry. I tell you, better stay up on the mic. So
it is deep.
Well, there's something else to go along with this that's very concerning to me. That there's nothing that these political fans can witness that will even budge them. Tucker Carlson is a trusted journalist to a lot of people in America, a lot of people that I care about. And it's on tape and video, the things he was saying off camera. So we know that he does not believe what he says based off of what he says when we're not around. And that doesn't even budge his fans.
Because his fans don't hear about it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, how many of them, know about the Dominion lawsuit?
None of them.
I'm
saying that facetiously, but
because it's not covered on Fox.
Exactly.
And people don't read newspapers anymore.
But it's on, you better believe, One Only America was the name of it, and the other right-wing media.
But nobody listens to them.
CNN picked up 30% of Tucker's audience.
For short term. The thing is, if we look at Fox News has more staying power than the personalities. Just remember Bill Riley. He was the juggernaut. Mm-hmm. Where's Bill Riley now?
He's at home. He's at the house.
And the thing is, Tucker Carlson needed that spot. Once they find someone to fill that spot, Tucker will fade away a bit.
He'll be writing his book.
I don't remember it being this bad, though, when Bill O'Reilly was fired. But it's. I don't think that has any reflection on the talent one versus the other. To me, Bill O'Reilly was supremely talented compared to Tucker Carlson. O'Reilly's a very talented entertainer. Tucker's not. He failed every stop he made along the way. I think it's just the way that we've changed.
Yeah, well, he's a chameleon. He started off as a neoconservative with the Weekly Standard in the 1990s, moved over to MSNBC NBC as kind of, I'm not sure about conservatives, and now he's a populist at Fox News. Was a
and kind of a little
Fox
religious too. He was really. I read a commentary piece recently about him being fired that potentially Murdoch didn't appreciate his evangelical approach toward the end.
If I was evangelicals, I would sue.
And this was like some celebrity garbage magazine I was reading, was because he's getting a divorce. Murdoch. He's getting a divorce.
Yeah, he
and
is.
she was very religious, so he took issue with
that. Yeah, he did you see how Rupert Murdoch alerted his latest wife that he was going to be moving on, looking for a younger model?
No.
Via email.
Ouch.
It essentially
I'm
said,
sure she wasn't torn up about it.
Well, it was probably great news for her.
Very nice prenup there.
It was like, Dear Gina, I'm sorry to inform you that I've decided to end this marriage. You can have my lawyer will be contacting your lawyer. Have a great day. I mean, essentially, that's what the message was via email.
Ain't love grand?
And I'm sure she said, "Jeez, I just hit the lotto. I do not have to crawl in bed with that old dude for money again. I've got it. I've done my work. My work here is done.
Won't have to dust those sheets anymore."
He's
so that was a little
dusty.
It's a little over the top there. Sorry you
So
hear
I feel
that.
like we've covered a lot of ground here. I really do. What do y'all think?
If we've covered a lot of ground, no,
Yeah,
we're just getting started. We are climbing that mountain. We're halfway there. We're halfway home. No, it's interesting conversation about in the reflection in the water, and it looks like that dude. What's his name? Narcissist, I believe was his name. I'd like to get your thoughts on that when we return. Dr. Sean Evans is in the house, political science professor and the head of the political science department, Union University. I bet, what's his name? Does what's his name still work out there in the political science department?
What's his name?
The guy that introduced you and I.
Yeah, Hunter, yeah.
Oh, that's his name, Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how does this taste? You see? Hunter said, hey, listen, let me introduce you to Dr. Sean Evans. I think you'd really like him. I said, Hunter, what are you doing? I mean, why won't you come on the show? Hunter's really good on the air. He introduced me to Dr. Evans, and I've not called him since.
So, but did he break up by email? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I tell you, let's do something different. Let's bring both Hunter and Dr. Evans in. That would be. Do you guys ever just sit around and talk shop?
Not as much as you might think. We sometimes do a podcast, and so that is the closest we get.
So what I'm hearing is, it's not that I don't like Hunter, but I just have to take him in small doses.
He is dean, so he has a lot more responsibilities than I do. So I think that probably explains it more.
Well, Hunter's, pardon me, he's a great guy.
Absolutely.
But I mean, Hunter, I'd like to hear that podcast. I got an idea. Larry, write that down. Just put. I
got a pen.
Dan's got an idea.
Here you go, Larry.
We have to put one of those, in convenience stores when they put the key to the bathroom on a block, like a 2x4.
Yeah.
We need to do that like the bank does for Larry, with their pins for Larry. It is 14 minutes past 4. It's 84 degrees. Feels like it's 94 degrees. From the Gene Langley Ford Studio in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll be right back. Dr. Sean Evans, our guest. He's head of the political science department at Union University.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The driver who crashed into a crowd in Brownsville, Texas, killing 8, has been charged with manslaughter.
Brownsville Police Chief Felix Sauceda says George Alvarez lost control of his Range Rover after running a red light, then plowing into a crowd of Venezuelans at a bus stop outside a migrant center.
George Alvarez is a Brownsville local with an extensive rap sheet. He has been formally charged and arraigned with 8 counts of manslaughter, 10 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He has received bonds.
Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. And right now, our price is your price. Our price is your price. Our price is your price. And remember, March is Ford Truck Month. What's better than 20% over invoice or 15% over invoice or 10% over invoice? How about 0% over invoice? It's happening now at Gene Langley Ford. Our price is your price. That's right. Our price is your price.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
9 a.m. weekdays on The Dan Reeves Show. The Range presents Rapid Fire. Answer the question. One sentence only. Brought to you by The Range.
Go to therange.com.
Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Gene Langley Ford. When it's time to buy a new vehicle, it's important to deal with someone you can trust. At Gene Langley Ford, we're truly a small-town family business and have been for over 40 years. With low overhead, we give you as much or more than anyone else for your trade. Great deals on F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, plus Broncos, Rangers, and the new Mustang Mach-E. With easy financing, no one is turned away. A free lifetime warranty and an award-winning service department. You really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service built. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. And right now, our price is your price. Our price is your price. Our price is your price. And remember, March is Ford Truck Month. What's better than 20% over invoice or 15% over invoice or 10% over invoice? How about 0% over invoice? It's happening now at Gene Langley Ford. Our price is your price. That's right. Our price is your price.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
9 a.m. weekdays on The Dan Reeves Show. The Range presents Rapid Fire. Answer the question. One sentence only. Brought to you by The Range.
Go to therange.com.
Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Gene Langley Ford. When it's time to buy a new vehicle, it's important to deal with someone you can trust. At Gene Langley Ford, we're truly a small-town family business and have been for over 40 years. With low overhead, we give you as much or more than anyone else for your trade. Great deals on F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, plus Broncos, Rangers, and the new Mustang Mach-E. With easy financing, no one is turned away. A free lifetime warranty and an award-winning service department. You really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service built. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Jean Langley Ford in Humboldt. And right now, our price is your price. Our price is your price. Our price is your price. And remember, March is Ford Truck Month. What's better than 20% over invoice or 15% over invoice or 10% over invoice? How about 0% over invoice? It's happening now at Jean Langley Ford. Our price is your price. That's right. Our price is your price.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
9 a.m. weekdays on The Dan Reed Show. The Range presents Rapid Fire. Answer the question. One sentence only. Brought to you by...
Go to therange.com.
Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Jean Langley Ford. When it's time to buy a new vehicle, it's important to deal with someone you can trust. At Jean Langley Ford, we're truly a small-town family business and have been for over 40 years. With low overhead, we give you as much or more than anyone else for your trade. Great deals on F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, plus Broncos, Rangers, and the new Mustang Mach-E. With easy financing, no one is turned away. A free lifetime warranty and an award-winning service department. You really should try Jean Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service built. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley at Jean Langley Ford in Humboldt. And right now, our price is your price. Our price is your price. Our price is your price. And remember, March is Ford Truck Month. What's better than 20% over invoice or 15% over invoice or 10% over invoice? How about 0% over invoice? It's happening now at Jean Langley Ford. Our price is your price. That's right. Our price is your price.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
Franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Take us with you wherever you go. Download our free apps for Apple and Android. Visit newstalkwtn.com. Then click to download.
And all the birds in the trees will they be singing so happily, oh joyfully, oh playfully, watching me. But then they send me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh responsible, practical. And then they show me a world where I could be so dependable, oh
84 degrees. We're holding steady at 84 here in Midtown, J-Town. What are you showing over there? Larry Newman is in the house. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
Are you showing anything over there at all? Do you mind sharing it with us?
I do.
You do?
Currently in Jackson, it is 84 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Low, it'll be about 67. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain is now up to 50%.
Well,
so that'll be after midnight, probably.
Nothing good happens before midnight.
After midnight.
No, I disagree. Based on my experience, it's after midnight. We've been
all right, Cinderella.
hoodwinked. Well, that weather update presented by Dustin Ring. Dustin buys houses, he buys land, and he buys trailers fast for cash. Visit DustinBuys.com. DustinBuys.com. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Gina Langley. Hello, Gina.
Hey, Danny.
Looking lovely today.
Thank you, dear.
Just like yesterday.
You as well.
Larry Newman's in the house, and Dr. Sean Evans, political science professor at Union University. He heads up that political science department. And we've got a ton of texts to get to. Pardon me. We're going to do that. The Advanced Rehab and Medical text line. You can text this program at 731-800-TEXT, 731-800-8398. You may call us, CWA phone lines, our phone number, to get right in on the air. And yes, there's a text one I got to miss some. I apologize. We will not miss a call this hour. You can call us at 731-265-6496, 731-265-6496 to get in on the program with us. Get up in here. Have we not done enough? By the way, the breaking news, when Doc was walking in, Governor Bill Lee says, well, he's called for a special session on gun legislation in August. We'll see if there's any response so far from the legislators. So that's where we stand there. Larry, do you have a question or comment for Dr. Evans?
No, I'm following him pretty well. The only thing I'm
good.
Have to, what Chris Todd has told us is that with the gun legislation, they're still waiting to get all the information from the shootings, and so they can make an informed decision. So I just don't know what that means, though. The information is we leave the world. The manifest from the girl and so on and so forth.
But this isn't about one shooting, though.
Well, I know it's not.
Well, I'm not taking you to task. I'm just saying that didn't make
You're
make
trying
no sense.
to, though. Yeah, I've seen this act before.
Yeah, me too, Larry.
Okay.
Anyway,
did you get that at all, Doc? If that's what Governor Lee said. I mean, I'm sorry, State Representative Chris Todd. They're still waiting on information about that. What I heard was not from Chris Todd, but from I forget who spoke up for the Republican Party in Tennessee, that gun legislation is a non-starter, I believe is what was said, and it's time to go, basically.
I believe the House Republican caucus made an announcement like that, but the lieutenant governor acted a little bit more supportive. So we'll see if the governor can build support between now and August to get a bill passed.
I believe that's August 22nd. I'll double check when that's that request for a special called meeting. Now, I don't know, but a special called meeting, is that dogma? I mean, do they have to be there? Or
yes, but they can adjourn the special session right after they gavel it in.
So this is pretty aggressive. It seems like for a governor of the state of Tennessee who is Republican, although, as they say, lame term governor, which is pretty amazing if that is true, then why don't we just have one term? I mean, that's pretty aggressive. He's going to force them to come to Nashville and either listen to and vote on this legislation, or he's going to force them to all convene and then gavel down, we're out. Seems aggressive.
Yeah. Well, it shows he is taking this seriously and he wants to do something about it. I think by choosing a date in August, his hope is that he can convince people of this. He'll try to get people on board. And I guess he hopes that people will mobilize to try to put pressure on their elected officials to support this. The fact that it is in August, after school has started, maybe the idea of protecting the children will be a theme that he'll use to try to convince the legislature to pass the bill. Because if you actually read the bill, I'm not quite sure it would have much of an impact at all. As someone who supports extreme risk protection orders, because the way it is set up is only law enforcement can request it. It goes before a judge within a certain period of time. The person has the right to contest it, and it has to meet a high standard, which all I'm fine with up to a point. But if you know someone is spiraling out of control, then will they spiral before you get to that? And then how does law enforcement know about it? I think family members or household members should also be involved in this. And I think, this is my view, that they should have a way to where they can remove the gun much quicker for a short period of time. Because most time, these people are spiraling. If they can control it for a short period of time, they can control it. They sometimes need that extra time, and so I think this is a bill which if passed won't make the difference we need it to make. It will make a difference, but I think it could be much stronger.
Dr. Sean Evans in studio. Let's get to the phone lines. People are standing by, and we'll take this one next. You're live with us on News Talk 96.5. You're on the air. Go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dan Reed.
I know that voice. The legendary Bud Forever Young. How are you, Bud?
Well, life is good to me, better than I deserve, but I just got a text that just knocked me to my knees that Arch Manning is transferring out of Texas, going into the portal.
What?
How about that?
I'll send it to you.
Hey, listen, if you said it, I believe it. Now, this would be an all-time record. I don't even know if he ever stepped on campus.
Well, I got a thing said that Quinn, whatever his name was, had beat him out, said that he didn't want to be second fiddle this year. And said he would, sometime this week, would be entering the transfer portal. Now, if memory serves me correct, won't he have to redshirt a year now?
No, Doc, you don't think so because the new rules with the transfer portal, right?
Right. Yeah, so there's no red shirting with the transfer portal.
Well, that changes things big time, doesn't it?
Every year you're recruiting.
Yeah.
That just blows me out of work. I said he wasn't going to start this year. And I mean, what did they give him NIL money? Well, I mean, will he have to pay that back or?
You know, that's interesting. And there's a thing about this conversation. What are you saying?
They wouldn't said until he's a starter. This is from his family.
Well, what now?
Yeah.
That until he started, he wouldn't get any NIL.
Okay,
he won't get his hands on.
So he could have signed an NIL deal with, say, Adidas, but until he's playing, it doesn't kick in. It doesn't kick in.
They're not going to. The family, is not going to, and especially it's Archie. That until you're a starter, you're not going to draw any money.
Well, no, that would be up to. It would be up to Arch Manning. Archie Manning can't sign that contract for him. So if he signed a contract with Adidas, I think, but it may be simple to look at it this way. whoever it was, let's just say Adidas, for an example, did they sign that with Texas or did they sign that with Arch Manning? I think they would be more in favor of, let's keep this contract in place wherever you land.
I got this from Richard G. West, and he's a good writer out in Dallas. He said, breaking news out of Austin, Texas, Arch Manning will be entering the transfer portal this week. Sources in Austin believe this is due to Sarkisian telling Manning he wanted him to redshirt this year, that Quinn Ewers, E-W-E-R-S, will be the starting quarterback for Texas.
Well, I tell you, when I initially hear that, saying that's a little bit un-Manning-like, but actually it's not. Remember, you like Manning, so it's San Diego to take a walk.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego.
Well, I wonder where he'll go now.
Well, I mean, I hear Knoxville is really nice in the fall. That would be great.
He ain't coming to Knoxville.
Why do you think? Why?
Well, because we got one 5-star there right now that we'd give $8 million to, and I don't think he'll leave. If he brought in another guy, that means he'd be an $8 million backup. That's easy money. I just had to truck, listen to the radio, keep his checks rolling.
I'd say, guys, I'm good with this. Is it
Yeah,
okay?
I'm good, no problem.
Is it okay if I don't even need to be at the game, fellas? Good luck to you this year.
And I'll just be wearing this red jersey where you can't tackle me, you can't touch me, you can't hit me, but keep them checks rolling in.
That's right.
Don't cut that money loose.
I tell you, it wasn't long ago. I was scanning YouTube, and there were the Steelers were playing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. It had been January 1979. And Kurt Gowdy, I tell you, I didn't realize Kurt Gowdy was terrible. I didn't realize that, because he was one of the biggest names in sports broadcasting. That guy sucked. And
he was a duck hunter, wasn't he?
He was what?
A duck hunter, wasn't he? Duck hunting on a wide world of sports. He done that stuff starting out, didn't he?
It could be, but I was like, and they had waiting in the wings that could have called that Super Bowl. One of the best of all time, Dick.
Vermeil.
Dick Vermeil.
Dick Enberg. No, not Dick Vermeil. Dick Enberg.
Dick Enberg.
Dick Enberg. Yeah, he was fantastic, I thought. But it's who is that NIL money for the Tennessee quarterback? Who's that coming from? Who did he sign with?
Spires. Spires gets the money out, and I don't know who. That's the person that hands the money out to Tennessee, but I don't know what company or nothing he's with. But he's throwing money from Spires is who's paying him the cash.
Okay, but now I didn't hear it. I assume it's not Florida Steel or anybody like that. Can you
no,
say
I
that?
highly doubt that.
Or
Alabama Vulcan Steel, and I doubt it's any of that too. I can probably guarantee you it ain't no Mercedes dealership.
Let me ask you, Bud, before you go, about some of the things we've been talking about here. What do you make when I read a poll over the weekend that's like 80% of Americans want to see changes with the healthcare system in America, but we're not going to get it because politicians have deemed it. No, we don't think so. And
because they get theirs free, the best they can get for nothing the rest of their life.
Well, but see. Yeah, but let me correct you on one thing because I'm picking up some negative vibes from you. That's not socialism if the politicians or the corporations benefit from taking taxpayer dollars away from us and going directly to them. What's socialism if it's the other way around? And then it's Venezuela all of a sudden.
Well, our government is in a mess right now because, I mean, anywhere you turn. And when you got people the term limits is the biggest scam of all of it. You got people like Dianne Feinstein. She ain't the only one. We got Republicans that have been thrown out decades ago, too. You got people in there, they don't know whether they're watching or hanging out. They ain't got a clue.
Well, I think they do. I think they know exactly what their job is to do, and that's to cater to the big money interest that pays
real in.
money.
But they got when you got a 94, when you got Dianne Feinstein, she's got puppets telling her what to do because She really don't know what she's washing or hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, think about that for a moment. Bud's right about it. Nation of 320 million, Dr. Evans. And Joe Biden will be in his 80s. I remember the talk when Ronald Reagan was running for president the first time. He was in his 60s. Things have changed. And if Donald Trump wins the Republican nomination, there's two guys right there that will be in their 80s while they're serving as president of the United States in a country of 330 million people.
Yeah.
Where are the young, vibrant leaders?
Where
are the semi-intelligent ones?
Yeah, well, they're waiting their turn. Or, I mean, the simple fact is, Joe Biden's is ready to be defeated in the Democratic primary. I mean, you see 60% of the people don't want him to run, 47% of Democrats. If you throw in people who lean Democratic, 60%. Why isn't someone running against him? They can defeat him in the primary because the Democrats don't want him there. So I'm still surprised it hasn't happened.
I assume it didn't happen very often. If you've got, in this case, Joe Biden running for re-election, and you have a primary, somebody's trying to primary you out of your own party. Isn't that what happened with, or did Ted Kennedy back away?
No. He did, and I think that's part of what's going on with this. There's a lot of respect for Biden because he was the Trump slayer. He defeated the enemy of the party.
30% of Americans don't believe that.
That's another story. Okay, but part of the idea is there is a fear that if the president has a strong primary challenge, they lose, like Carter in 80, Bush in 92. I think it's different. We don't have the massive problems we did then. Two, the Democrats agree on everything. They like Biden. They just think he's too old. Run saying, I'm the younger version. You can run without really attacking him. Say, I will continue the job campaign nonstop. The contrast is there. I think he can be beat.
And it's already been taken, and that is the absolute best response to someone criticizing your age. What Reagan said, I will not, for political gain, exploit my opponent's youth and inexperience. Jeez. Yep. I mean, Bud, that was a pretty...
It's pretty smooth.
Pretty smooth line right there, right?
Well, he was pretty intelligent. He did... you never did hear President Reagan going, and that's Joe Biden's most common line.
Well, the last two presidents been the most common. It really, you're right about that, Biden. Then go back to 2000
he spoke
2008.
Hebrew, and he spoke English.
Well, it's kind of a strange time we live in. Well, Bud, listen. One more thing. I want to tap into your database here on that is Governor Lee. Just as we were coming on the air today, a press release was sent out that Governor Lee has called for a special session. I think it's August 22nd, and he's saying, "Hey, get back to Nashville, and here's some gun legislation to vote on." What do you make of that? We were talking, that's pretty aggressive by Governor Lee when his own party said, hey, that's a non-starter and left, and here he is calling a special session. What's your thoughts?
That's smoke screens. I think it's nothing but a smoke screen what he'd say in the next election. Well, look here, I tried to get him in. When you're in a state that's 74% hardcore Republican, that's in the votes.
Well, now, he's a lame duck governor. He's been elected for a second term already.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's out there. See, he's more reason. He can say he done all he could do. You know, I'm out. You know, that's even more reason. He knows that ain't gonna happen.
What do you make of what Bud said there, Doc?
Well, I think it's
kind of risky in this chance in that there's been some talk about him being a possible VP in 2024, and this could hurt him among activists in that regard.
That's what I'm saying. It's a smoke screen. That's a smoke screen where he can try to pull something in a little more on both sides or something like that. But I think Bill Lee will go back to plumbing. That's probably he's way younger, better plumber than he is a governor. And
well,
that'll be my call since day one. I worked for the man. I know who he stands, who he takes care of, who he always took care of, and it ain't the little man.
Bud,
if you didn't know anybody that ever worked for him, they'll tell you the same thing.
Bud Forever Young. Bud, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to chat with you, my friend.
I'll stay in touch with you, and I'll let you know about my other stuff, Dan. What I sent you the text on, I'm really excited about that. And,
that's awesome. Bud was texting possibly a Hooters coming to Frog.
Oh my word!
We can dream, can't we, Bud?
You can dream, but I want to hit 60. That's all it is a dream.
Bud Forever Young. Well, okay. That's I agree a lot with Bud when he calls in. This time I don't. I don't think this is. This would not help Governor Lee if he were thinking of running for or being a vice presidential candidate, unless he was planning on switching parties. Then it might help him.
And there's no chance of that.
Dr. Sean Evans, our guest. We'll be right back with Dr. Evans. We have some more questions. We have some more texts for Dr. Evans to address when we do return here on the program. It is 4:47, and we've went up a degree. It's 85 degrees.
It's balmy.
Today is Benjamin Buttons when it comes to weather. Feels like it's 92 degrees. Humidity is relaxed just a bit.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
The Lady Vols play here. 96.5 FM, News Talk, West Tennessee. NewsTalkWTN.com.
My name's Tommy Bland, and I just received the BioT hormone replacement therapy. For BioT, I was just not hitting on all cylinders. I didn't feel like myself. I was constantly fatigued, brain fog, lack of energy, searching for something natural, something that I could use to help benefit my body and help maybe take me back to where I once was. Waiting in the waiting room, I
lack
saw
of
a pop-up
libido,
advertisement.
having trouble losing the belly fat, having trouble sleeping, lack of daytime energy. I was suffering from all these things, and several months ago, I decided to do something about it. I called Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. A simple test can change your life. It did for me. So call Dr. Shannon Bone, do what I did, and ask if BioTE is right for you. You'll be glad you did.
Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
For nearly 30 years, Cambridge Limited has been the place where West Tennesseans come for their dress clothes needs. We are so thankful for the many customers who have stood by us through the years and allowed us to play such a special role in the biggest moments of their lives. Our customer service is unparalleled, and our tailors work around the clock to ensure that your clothes are custom fit to you. With no suit in the store more than $2.59, there is something for everybody here at Cambridge. Come and see what we are all about, or give us a call to book your own wedding appointment today at Cambridge.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Are you struggling with lack of libido? Having trouble losing the belly fats? Having trouble sleeping? Lack of daytime energy? I was suffering from all these things, and several months ago, I decided to do something about it. I called Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. A simple test can change your life. It did for me. So call Dr. Shannon Bone, do what I did, and ask if BioTE is right for you. You'll be glad you did.
Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
For nearly 30 years, Cambridge Limited has been the place where West Tennesseans come for their dress clothes needs. We are so thankful for the many customers who have stood by us through the years and allowed us to play such a special role in the biggest moments of their lives. Our customer service is unparalleled, and our tailors work around the clock to ensure that your clothes are custom fit to you. With no suit in the store more than $2.59, there is something for everybody here at Cambridge. Come and see what we are all about, or give us a call to book your own wedding appointment today at Cambridge.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Are you struggling with lack of libido? Having trouble losing the belly fats? Having trouble sleeping? Lack of daytime energy? I was suffering from all these things, and several months ago, I decided to do something about it. I called Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. A simple test can change your life. It did for me. So call Dr. Shannon Bone, do what I did, and ask if BioTE is right for you. You'll be glad you did.
Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
For nearly 30 years, Cambridge Limited has been the place where West Tennesseans come for their dress clothes needs. We are so thankful for the many customers who have stood by us through the years and allowed us to play such a special role in the biggest moments of their lives. Our customer service is unparalleled, and our tailors work around the clock to ensure that your clothes are custom fit to you. With no suit in the store more than $2.59, there is something for everybody here at Cambridge. Come and see what we are all about, or give us a call to book your own wedding appointment today at Cambridge.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Are you struggling with lack of libido? Having trouble losing the belly fats? Having trouble sleeping? Lack of daytime energy? I was suffering from all these things, and several months ago, I decided to do something about it. I called Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. A simple test can change your life. It did for me. So call Dr. Shannon Bone, do what I did, and ask if BioTE is right for you. You'll be glad you did.
Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
For nearly 30 years, Cambridge Limited has been the place where West Tennesseans come for their dress clothes needs. We are so thankful for the many customers who have stood by us through the years and allowed us to play such a special role in the biggest moments of their lives. Our customer service is unparalleled, and our tailors work around the clock to ensure that your clothes are custom fit to you. With no suit in the store more than $2.59, there is something for everybody here at Cambridge. Come and see what we are all about, or give us a call to book your own wedding appointment today at Cambridge.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Are you struggling with lack of libido? Having trouble losing the belly fat? Having trouble sleeping? Lack of daytime energy? I was suffering from all these things, and several months ago, I decided to do something about it. I called Dr. Shannon Bone at Advanced Rehab and Medical. A simple test can change your life. It did for me. So call Dr. Shannon Bone, do what I did, and ask if BioTE is right for you. You'll be glad you did.
Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
For nearly 30 years, Cambridge Limited has been the place where West Tennesseans come for their dress clothes needs. We are so thankful for the many customers who have stood by us through the years and allowed us to play such a special role in the biggest moments of their lives. Our customer service is unparalleled, and our tailors work around the clock.
Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Baby, don't feel the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't feel the reaper. We'll be able to fly. Don't feel the reaper. Baby, I'm your man.
King Jewelers today kicks off that flash sale. I mean, everything in the store is on sale, up to 70% off. The King of Bling we're talking about, Larry. We're not talking about somebody that works out of the trunk of their car. I mean, jeez. I mean, it's amazing. Got some more details going to share with you, but this week only, flash sale. It's not just for mom, but it certainly includes mom. And Mother's Day is just around the corner. Hello. Sunday. This Sunday?
Yeah.
I better get to King Jewelers.
Better hurry up.
Yep. Now, don't put too much pressure on me. I'll collapse under the pressure. Heavy lies the crown. That crown is
Of the
is
grateful
only,
son who needs to get something for his mother.
Yeah, that crown. Yeah, you're right. It's just the crown of just doing the right thing. Sometimes it's too heavy, isn't it, Larry?
Never for me.
Whatever. Now, here's a question, though. I'd like to hear from you out there. Should men buy something for their wives? I'm not asking you. I know the answer there. Actually, no. What women want. Should men buy something for their wives for Mother's Day?
You don't want me to answer that
Yes,
question?
I do. I was kidding. Yeah.
So my take on that is if your children are unemployed and dependents, yes, take them out and let them buy something for their mother.
Okay, what if your kids have a job? I mean, let's take the kids out of it. And yeah, the answer that's is correct. What you said. That's not what I meant. Should men buy a gift for their wives, even if they don't have any children, for Mother's Day?
If they don't have any children?
Even if they don't have any, across the board, would they have kids or not?
I mean, I'm just pro-gift across the board. You know, sure, why not?
When it comes to Father's Day, do you consider yourself pro-gift?
Yeah, I always get John something nice for Father's Day.
Hey. What do you think, Larry? Should men buy something for their wives for Mother's Day?
You know, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy.
Yeah.
So you better buy her a gift.
That's right.
Got to buy a gift. Doc, I'll ask you, but I think I know the answer.
I agree with them.
That is not correct.
Okay.
Oh.
No, it's yeah. You should. You should. And Grover knows you should, and that's why he's put such a huge sale on down at King Jewelers. Buy something for your wife, even if you don't have kids, for Mother's Day.
It's a flash sale. The
It's a
commercials.
flash
I
sale.
love that
It is.
spot.
It is 10 to 70% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, diamond stud earrings, named after Larry.
Because he's a stud.
No, he's
No,
a
I'm
diamond.
an earring.
Shine on, you crazy diamond. We got phone calls standing by, but if you want to,
Somebody needs to say something to John that Mother's Day is Sunday. I don't think he realizes that.
John, Mother's Day is Sunday.
Your son is a
Sunday,
dependent.
Sunday. From the Advanced Rehab and Medical text line, you can text the program presented by Advanced Rehab Jackson. AdvancedRehabJackson.com. The text line number is 731-800-TEXT, 731-800-8398, and we'll go rapid fire here in a moment as well. And if you want to comment on, Mom, should husbands buy something for their wives for Mother's Day? You can do that. Rapid fire presented by our friends over at the range, Jackson's only indoor shooting range. They also have, if you mention News Talk 96.5, they're going to give you a free safety course for handgun carry.
So important.
It's about a $45 value. That's nice
So
right there.
important.
Great Americans right there. Go to therange.com. Go to therange.com. Now, these texts, let's get caught up on these for just a moment, then we'll go to rapid fire. Pardon me. This one comes in, and it says, Dr. Evans, the conservative SCOTUS chose the presidency of 2000. George Bush v. Al Gore.
Is there a question there?
I think that was a statement. What about that? That came in at 4:05. What were we talking about there?
That was a whole hour ago.
That was an hour ago. Dear Dan, is Chris Todd waiting for more shootings and murder? Common sense gun legislation would take the average thinking human being about 5 seconds to make these decisions. Now, Larry said that. I'm not. You said you were quoting Chris.
No, he called into the show and said that.
Okay. I didn't hear it, but Chris is a good man. I'm not sure. I'd have to hear it in the context. From the Advanced Rehab and Medical text line, this one says, the best solution would be to repeal the Second Amendment. As former Republican Supreme Court Justice Lauren Berger said, the greatest fraud ever perpetrated on the American people by the gun lobby was the Second Amendment's interpretation for an individual's right to bear arms. Repeal the second. Doc, what would you say to that? It'd be a hard time getting that off the ground here.
Yeah, you have to have a two-thirds vote in both chambers and 3/4 of the state. No chance.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Don't put so much thought into it, Doc. No, there is no chance here. Do you think that what about the way this text is worded, though? The greatest fraud ever committed on the American people is the interpretation of the Second Amendment by the NRA.
I would say the greatest fraud perpetrated on the people is probably the 2020 election claims by some people.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, in terms of this,
If the claims that even the claims that it was stolen, I guess what you mean,
correct,
right? Okay.
yes.
Right.
With that. Well, in terms of this, I think you can make a case for both arguments here. You go back to what the original wording of the Amendment was. They started off with the right of the individuals to bear arms, followed by the militia clause. They changed it up. But still, even if you believe in the right to bear arms, that doesn't mean you have the right to bear any arm that you want. We have banned people from owning machine guns, tanks, Stinger missiles. So the right to bear arms under the Second Amendment is not absolute.
Well, they say it is. They say it's from God, God-given rights.
But even God-given rights, we don't have a single one that is absolute. Free speech would also be part of that, but we also have certain restrictions on that.
Well, I think God meant more on the Second Amendment. No, how could man, and why would any Christian be afraid that a man could take away a God-given right?
Well, because we have authoritarian governments in the past which have taken away people's rights. I don't think we're near that in the U.S., but there have been examples of that in history.
When they say a God-given right, what do you think they mean by that? Because God didn't write the U.S. Constitution. Well, some people may think it did.
It goes back to John
Wayne?
Locke. No. A couple of centuries before him, the idea of natural rights. Well, it goes back to natural law and all that people can use their reason to figure out what their rights are. And most of it was life, liberty, property is what John Locke argued. People have expanded that. What does liberty mean? Speech, press, religion, petition, guns,
protect your property.
Things. Yeah,
I could understand. So we could have guns at home to protect our property, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a hole in his theory because of that. Pardon me. But aren't we, with the new gun laws in Tennessee, I forget what passed, and I just assumed they all passed, but that could be, I mean, that's assumptive on my part. Refresh my memory. Can we, I guess in July when most new laws kick in, can we walk around with an AK-47 or a rifle over its target? I'd have to look and see. I don't mean to put you on the spot with that.
I don't believe so, but you can correct me on that. I don't know. There is open carry, but that typically has always referred to handguns. Now, it may refer to rifles, but I don't know for sure on that.
Okay, because I need to find out. Larry, can you find out and let us know at least by tomorrow, or at least by July? Let's go to the phone lines, and you'll be up next with us here live on News Talk 96.5 FM. You're on the air. Go.
Hey, Dan Ho.
Hey, Big Rick. You know, Gina yesterday brought up, I love to hear Big Rick call in and talk about gardening. She said that any woman would love to hear Big Rick talk about gardening.
He's very informative.
Yes, he is. How you doing today, big guy?
Man, we're motoring right along. We're almost finished up. So
awesome. Well, I tell you,
yeah,
you have to do that for another month, and you'll be off probation. He's out picking up trash, I think.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you, I've transformed my neighborhood into taking pride in responsibility.
When you say taking pride, what color are your flags?
Well, because, Gina, I don't know exactly. There's been a real downturn in West Tennessee of people taking care of their property. I mean, mowing their yard, picking up their own trash, not trashing the highways like they do, not leaving couches on Danny's city streets of crooked little Jackson, for God's sake. Saw two of them, Danny, on one of your main thoroughfares again today.
What'd you see about, Rick?
Those were located again on Campbell Street. They love Campbell Street, and they also love to dump that garbage out there on Royal for some reason.
I tell you.
So, Regina, getting back to the beautification of the area, I've really become great friends with the people that run the UT Extension Service.
I mean, we have some of the most intelligent, well-known nationally horticulturalists in Madison County, and virtually they're getting more popular by knowledge because they had a great sale that you two missed out on.
That's what I was just about to ask you
to
about.
take you out there.
Where was it at, Rick?
At the Extension Center.
Well,
it was this past weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, Friday.
Did
and Saturday, but
did they draw a big crowd out there, Rick?
Did they ever? I'm telling you.
That's great.
They
Did you
ran
go out
out
there,
of
Doc?
parking area. They ran out of parking area on Friday.
But my mother-in-law loves it.
Yeah,
Was
Doc's
it
mother-in-law
fabulous?
was there.
Because they
Rick?
were selling plants, right?
Yeah.
So not only can you find very unique plants, Gina, at that location, and see that's the spring sale. Then there will be a June or actually in July there'll be a summer sale, and then there'll be a fall sale. Now, the prices are very, very reasonable, and more importantly, is the two horticulturalists that are in charge. One is in charge of the Master Gardener sale. Let me tell you, we virtually bought them out on the first day. They only had like probably 25 plants on 3 tables left in the entire auditorium area inside the building. And they also had a line, Danny, from the entranceway of the plant sale on the outside, all the way down the road, all the way to the growing sheds on the very back side of the
Boy,
property.
I tell you, Rick, hearing you talk about that reminds me of when we'd go out there each year for the, well, I guess it's each year. It used to be every other year for the UT Ag, whatever they had out there day. The summer celebration, that was it. And Lanny Davis would be parking cars, and he'd try to pick up some extra change, you know. If you roll your window down, he'd tell you the weather forecast for $5, things like that. And, boy, I miss him so much. Don't you, Rick?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Bob has retired, but I tell you, his legacy just continues.
Yeah.
Errol Reese has retired.
I did not know
He's still on the
that.
speaking circuit.
You know, we need to get her in here, Big Rick. You and
well, you're missing a very valuable resource, Danny, for your programming.
Absolutely.
If you don't bring in Celeste Scott, who is the county extension horticulturalist, and then you have Jason Reeves, who is in charge of the UT extension horticultural service. So everybody seems to think they test wheat and corn and beans, and they do. But on the other side of the property, Gina, for people that don't know what really looks good or grows good in West Tennessee, they have a display garden that's probably nearly 20 acres, I'd think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's massive.
Boy,
it's massive. There's a garden. Yeah.
Hey, Rick,
and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Rick,
it doesn't cost you a dime to go out there.
Let me interrupt you, but Celeste, you said her last name is what?
Scott.
Did you know Melvin? Did you know?
Scott.
I guess. Did you know Melvin Newman? He was the head horticulturalist out there at UT Ag Experiment Station for years. When I was like in my early 20s, first house I bought was next door to him, off of Union University Drive, or off of University Drive, on the east side of the bypass, and his yard was just absolutely gorgeous, and he had planted these beautiful shrubs, and they were mature as the property line border. And of course, I mean, I was in my early 20s, and I didn't have time to spend in the yard. I did notice his yard looked a lot better than mine. And, you know, he would trim the hedges on his side. Finally, one day, he walked over, he said, hey, Danny, I don't want to impose on you, but I don't mind trimming these shrubs even on your side, if that's okay by you. I said, Melvin, let me think about it. Sure. Well, he died a few years ago. Joyce is still, his wife is still here in town. And originally they were from Texas. And when they would come back from Texas, Big Rig, they would bring the best briskets I've ever had in my life. Great people. Melvin was awesome. I miss him.
Well, like I say, it's just in this day and age, plants are getting expensive, and soil is getting expensive because of your Presidente dummy Biden turning off natural gas. See, it takes natural gas in order to produce
naturally
fertilizer. Yeah, fertilizer.
Well, now,
so
you know, you
so
do
actually,
pretty well.
yeah. I just bought some. Okay, so believe it or not, Triple 15 has finally gotten near $20 for 50 pounds. But here in the last 2 years of JoJo Dummy, you couldn't afford to buy it. Look, I'm telling you, the feed store couldn't sell a 50-pound bag of fertilizer, Danny, to your local yokel because it was totally outrageous. I'm talking about $70 a bag.
Yeah, Rick. Hey, Rick, stand by just 1 minute. We got to get a quick time out. We'll be right back, and I'll leave it up to Big Rick to make. Let's go, Brandon. Sound like Romper Room. JoJo Dummy.
JoJo Dummy. JJD.
Well, it is 85 degrees. Feels like it's 92 degrees outside.
Well, it's summertime.
It is.
All of a sudden.
Unofficially. That's the way it is, right, Doc? It's just one day we wake up and it's summer. And it stays with us these days until October.
Yeah, my wife has loved the past month. She said we finally have had a spring.
I know. It has been wonderful.
Yeah, really.
She says most of the time it's winter to summer.
Exactly.
She's right about that. CWA Developments. They specialize in commercial and residential maintenance, restoration, and renovation. Fire and water damage. They just took care of some major water damage in John and Gina's mansion. It happened very disturbingly close to Easter Sunday, and Gina has a huge Easter Sunday. CWA Development, this is what local people do. They made sure, because when they went over to Gina's house, they felt like she was attacking them personally about Easter. They said, we'll have it ready for you by Easter, didn't they, Gina?
Well, I have all these grandbabies, and we wanted to color Easter eggs, and there's this gaping hole in my ceiling from a leak upstairs, and they made a special effort to get over there and get it patched so we can enjoy our Easter. And you just don't get that kind of customer service all the time. So I appreciated it.
Yeah, and Gina kind of twisted it into, it wasn't the water that was going to spoil Easter, it was you if you don't get it fixed. Well, they are. That's what they do.
You better recognize.
The bunny's gonna be here, and we need Easter eggs, so we don't need a hole in the ceiling, right, Larry? And that's what they did. CWA.
Absolutely.
Sorry, CWA Developments. Call 731-503-9598. 731-503-9598. CWA Developments. 80 years experience. They're open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Sundays for emergencies. It is 5:19. 85 degrees. Rapid fires just ahead. One sentence only. Presented by The Range. Indoor shooting range. Go to therange.com. Coming right back, our guest in studio is our dear friend, Dr. Sean Evans, head of the Political Science Department, political science professor at Union University.
And I wonder why I don't despise. Now all I
This is WBFG 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Charges have been filed in that SUV that slammed into a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, killing 8 people and injuring 10. Brownsville Police Chief Felix Sauceda says the driver's been charged with manslaughter.
The driver of the vehicle, later identified as George Alvarez, November 9, 1988, had attempted to flee the scene after impact but was held down by several individuals on scene.
Officials are awaiting toxicology reports to determine whether Alvarez was intoxicated, Sauceda said, adding there was no motive that he could discuss. Federal investigators are looking into whether the gunman who killed 8 people at a Dallas area mall expressed an interest in white supremacist ideology as they work to try to discern a motive. Meanwhile, at a community-wide prayer service in Allen, Texas, Cottonwood Creek Church senior pastor Scott Sanford says they're praying for peace and healing in the aftermath of the attack.
We're here to mourn together as a community and pray together for God to comfort us.
The battle over the debt limit continues between the Biden administration and Republicans. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise tells the Salem Radio Network President Biden can't keep running out the clock.
According to Janet Yellen, the ex-date, as they call it, the date that all the extraordinary measures end and the debt ceilings truly hit, is June 1st. And so that means you've only got about 3 weeks left. This week, they should be putting real alternatives on the table. The White House should be.
As President Biden prepares to meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and leaders of Congress, the options for easing the debt ceiling standoff are many. On Wall Street, a mixed day as the Dow was down by 55 points, but the Nasdaq rose 21, the S&P advanced 1, oil up to $73.16 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Corey, and this is my story. I was going through some financial troubles paying off my credit cards. I was paying high interest rates, and it just wasn't getting any better. And I knew I had to do something. So my mom told me about Trinity, and so I decided to call. Trinity was able to do something that I couldn't. I'm paying off my debt, I'm saving thousands, and things are really looking up. I promise you guys, you will not regret it when you call Trinity, because it was such a relief and less stress in my life, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because once I called Trinity, they took care of me and I felt such a relief, a weight off my shoulders. Trinity was great to work with. They wanted to help me. I love it.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Corey, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky wants a decree for an annual Victory Day remembrance. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
In an address in Kyiv, Zelensky proposes a bill to establish May 8 as the day of remembrance and victory over Nazism in World War II in Ukraine, breaking with the Soviet tradition that celebrated the Victory Day on May 9. Zelensky adds, "We'll never forget the contribution of the Ukrainian people to the victory over Nazism. Remembering the heroism of millions, we see the same heroism in the actions of our soldiers now, the descendants of those who secured the victory, the surrender of Nazism that day on May 8, 1945. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Meanwhile, Russia is enacting a major security clampdown before annual commemorations marking the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Postal carriers have more worries than snow, rain, or the gloom of night to keep them from their appointed rounds.
These days, they're increasingly being robbed, often at gunpoint. Carriers suffered nearly 500 such robberies last year. That's according to data provided by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service to the Associated Press under the Freedom of Information Act. That's up 78% from the year before. Letter carriers are demanding action from the U.S. Postal Service. One leader of the Letter Carriers Union says the attacks are completely unacceptable. John Scott reporting.
Authorities in coastal North Carolina are investigating the death of a teenager who became trapped in a hole that was dug in the sand, the latest fatality from the scourge of sand holes that continue to claim young people's lives. The 17-year-old male died Saturday afternoon in the small resort town of Frisco, which sits alongside the Cape Hatteras National Seashore. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn and Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center. Welcome to West Tennessee. Make your reservations now by calling direct at 731-427-6100 or visit hampton.com.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Let's face it, people want to feel loved, appreciated, and pampered. Beauty to the Bone has a mission and a purpose to help you look and feel beautiful inside and out. From facials to Botox, fillers, lasers, IV therapy, functional medicine, and all in between, we've got you covered. Book your appointment today to feel your very best tomorrow.
Book your appointment today. Call 731-300-9103. That's 731-300-9103.
Get all the latest news, talk, weather, and sports. NewsTalkWTN.com and 96.5 FM.
Yeah, it's a good business. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't.
Got out of town on a boat going to Southern Islands, sailing to reach before a following sea. She was making for the trades on the outside.
What this song reminds me, I need a holiday. I mean, this is a good business, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's a good business. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't.
Exactly. Dan Reeves. Gina Langley's in the house, and ain't no doubts. Larry Newman is here. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
And Dr. Sean Evans. He's head of the Political Science Department at Union University. Dr. Sean Evans is in the house. Gina, I just heard that spot on describing Beauty to the Bone. You just had a facial there.
I did.
Is that your, judging by your looks, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
It's not how you feel, it's how you look.
Exactly.
You look marvelous. You've had
Thank you, darling.
You've had facials in the past, right?
I have.
I know. Where do you rank this one that you just had with Beauty to the Bone?
So Courtney did it at on Friday, and it was probably the best facial I think I've ever gotten. It was so relaxing, and then she talked about, she asked me about my skin and what my concerns were, and then she did this dermaplaning, and it was
What is that?
It's where
I'm asking for a friend.
It's basically they use this utensil to kind of scrape a layer of dead skin off your face. That's not the scientific definition, but that's kind of what
That's
I
what
think
they
it
do.
is.
Yeah.
But then it uncovers that youthful, dead skin looks very drying, and so
Well, it works. Your skin looks great. That her skin look great, Larry.
It does.
Looks fantastic.
It was a really, really good facial, and I'm going back in 2 weeks.
Well, Doc, have you ever had a facial?
Never.
Well,
You
your
should
skin
get
looks
once
good.
a month. You should go get a facial.
Larry, I'd ask you, but I think I know the answer. But
I haven't.
Larry, how often do you get your facials?
When I take a shower.
Larry's never been accused of being a metrosexual.
Do you go get facials, Jim?
I haven't, but the way that sounds, I think I'm going to do that.
It's wonderful.
And it's relaxed. Does it hurt?
No. And they have that machine that has steam to open up your pores. Then they clean it, your skin and kind of polish it. And then they have different serums depending on, what is needed. Is it hydration or are we dealing with hyperpigmentation of the skin?
I hate
There's
that.
just, it's terrible. It's a lovely way to spend about an hour and a half.
Well, I've done, they're scraping that dead skin off, but it's, Larry, you'd have to shave first, I think. That may take his beard off, though, I guess. Maybe you don't have to shave. They just kill two birds with one stone. If they scrape it, or may scrape the...
Well, if they're going to give me a hydroplane or whatever it was.
A hydroplane, that's a little bit different.
Dermaplane.
Yeah.
They probably get that hair, too.
Losing control with the car, right? That's hydroplaning.
Yeah, that's hydroplaning, Larry. We're talking about losing control of your face. That's what you do. Now, did they do that? Larry wouldn't know if they'll do that for his feet. Scrape them.
I don't think they do that.
I had my feet done Friday.
You had them done Saturday?
Friday.
Escape
pedicure.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I need a pedicure.
Who did that?
They do it at the place I go to, the nail shop.
Is it
I don't want to give them a free plug.
You're welcome
Well, it's man, if I worked in, you came in for a foot to have your feet scraped, I'd be hell no. Did they use a shovel? Or?
No. She's been doing my nails for years.
There you go.
Does she slip?
Good feet.
Does she slip into a hazmat suit? I'm just curious.
No.
You have to take care of your feet.
Barbaric.
Oh yeah.
Now I remember the first time I went. You've seen Dumb and Dumber. They were going to go to the prom or to the party,
right?
And they had that saw and.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's the first time I went, so I didn't want that to happen anymore.
Okay, well, that's fine. Let's get back to the phone lines. We're going to do rapid fire here in just a moment. Right now, you're live with us on News Talk 96.5. You're on the air. Go.
Good afternoon, y'all.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Okay, so, hey, Mr. Sheldon, and I want to throw something at you if you want to catch this idea, a political science idea. Like, what would you do with the information that we've been living the past 10 or 12 years almost, a completely fraudulent system, and, I mean, the budget has a bit, they're about to try to do something with the debt ceiling, and it's completely, I mean, I think someone texted Chuck's show about how the Federal Reserve is really in charge of, what's going down in the monetary schism. Just like to hear your thoughts on,
well,
the uniform.
If that's that wouldn't be like the bankers being in charge.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, my basic response is I would agree on some level that the government has been financially irresponsible for decades. I mean, they've been running up debt like crazy. We've got impending problems with the Medicare Trust Fund, the Social Security Trust Fund, and they're not even talking about that. It's what's the thing that PJ O'Rourke said, letting Congress spend money is like giving whiskey and keys to teenagers.
Now, Doc, no need to attack teenagers like that. They didn't deserve that. But
I heard that the government de facto today is really like the World Wrestling Entertainment for the military-industrial complex. Yeah.
I think that's oversimplification. Are you asking me, do interest groups have influence? My response is yes. Does the military-industrial complex have influence? On one level, but they're most concerned with the weapons that are being bought. They're not as involved in what the defense and foreign policy will be. So they do have influence, but not quite the influence that people think that they have. I would say that interest groups have probably declined in power over the years, for the simple fact that there are a lot more interest groups out there.
You think the military-industrial complex has lost their grip?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because there's more people coming up with ideas about what's going on, whether it's think tanks, media, others, to where they're able to get ideas out to challenge what other people are saying.
But okay. All right, well, help me understand this. I'm not saying you're wrong, because typically you're right. And that would put me square on, I'm wrong. And I'm fine with that. But explain to me how you can take we're number one, right? We're number one when it comes to military. Take the next 12 largest, combine them, they're smaller than ours as far as the budget goes.
Yeah.
But, well, and most of those are allies of ours.
Right.
How paranoid do you have to be, some say?
Well, it's because we play a very important role in the world in the terms that we maintain
overthrowing governments, no way to put it.
Freedom of the seas and other
That's
things,
true.
which kind of ensures that that trade is able to happen. Now, do I think that other people should be stepping up? Heck yeah.
Well,
that's
why do you
kind of
think
what the world hegemon does. Britain did it before us. We're doing it now. China is happy with us spending the money so they can trade due to the protections provided by the U.S. Navy and others.
Well, but really, who are they? Who would stop a Chinese vessel and say, if you don't like it, let's go to war?
Well, it's not the Chinese that we're worried about.
But I mean, who would they be worried about?
Well, there's piracy and other things going on around the world. Plus,
right, there is, but I think China can handle that probably better than we.
Sure. Well, in their waters they will, but they're not really going outside their waters.
Well, I just need to ask you what's all about. Are we doing this to ensure the world has a pair of Air Jordans, or are we doing that to protect our corporate interests, because our corporations are the first ones to not pay taxes, but to stand up and call in the U.S. Marines to protect their corporate interests?
I don't think they've called in the Marines for decades as far as that goes.
But you get the point, right?
But yeah, I mean, the basic idea, this is good for everybody. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can say about the problems with free trade.
How's it good for the American people?
Because it provides more goods at cheaper prices.
But we don't have the spending power we once did. So there's a big trade-off there.
Well, with everything, there's pros and cons with it.
Not having money, what's the pro?
No. Overall, free trade is good for everyone. It does hurt certain industries, and so that's where we need to try to protect them. But the simple fact is, as we have expanded trade around the world, that we have lifted more people out of poverty than ever before.
And we put more Americans in poverty than ever before.
I would disagree with that, for the simple fact that we have a lot of income stabilizers which are going to prevent that from happening. And at the same time, while industries are destroyed, new industries are created, and many times they provide better jobs. The problem we have in part of this is location, to where some of the industries that fall. The question is, are we putting new industries in those areas? And so we see that the benefits of trade are not equally distributed, and we should be doing things about that.
Yeah, it's to me, this is manufactured, no pun intended, to watch NAFTA, which was put on the table by the Reagan administration, further along by the big George Bush administration, signed into law by the Clinton administration. So both parties were all in for NAFTA. And then you hear, well, we had to move overseas because of the competition. We had to keep up with the competition. As well, the corporations, that's what they say. But they're the ones that responsible for all of the jobs lost. We're responsible for building China out of a third world country. I'm trying to figure out, and then many of the same people are put America first. I'm just trying to square it all. And these corporations who have a post office box in where the Bahamas or wherever, that's offshore, so they can save even more money by not paying taxes. But I notice they do use the infrastructure.
Right. If we look at them, there are some that are offshore, but most of the major multinational corporations are in the U.S. And so they pay taxes on what is done within the U.S.
A lot of them don't, or it's minuscule. Even if they don't have that mailbox offshore.
Yeah. But there are plenty who do pay taxes, and they're also providing jobs.
Now the consumers provide jobs.
Well, the consumers are providing jobs because they're buying stuff that the corporations are making.
Well,
in which case, it's jobs, it's benefits, it's pensions, it's all this.
Well, they're coming for the pensions. They've come for most of that. They're coming for benefits now. They've been taking that away. Their income inequality has never been at this level. It's worse than ever in America. It's worse than the Gilded Age, and it's because no one is there to represent the workers' best interests. Don't you think that's a problem? That's a problem when no one's looking out for the worker bees.
There are things that I think can be done differently to improve the system. But I think we have the reality of globalization. It's not changing. And
I don't. What would that have to do with it?
Well, because it's the idea that we have international supply lines and everything else.
But that's a lot of American corporations that are now they're talking about themselves. They are in China. They're in Mexico. They're in Vietnam.
Right.
And Vietnam is communist. China's communist.
Not really. They're
we say that now, but when we wanted to go to war with them, they were the devil. They fly under the communist flag.
Sure, they did at that time, and they still are governed by communists, but they're very capitalistic communists.
Could it be they were then as well? We just
No, we can go back and see what Mao did in China, and there was nothing capitalistic about it.
But we got kicked out, though, right? They did this on their own. Become the modern Vietnam who's responsible for the modern day Vietnam?
A lot of different people are responsible for.
Well, I don't need names, but I'm talking about the Vietnamese, but they govern themselves.
If you want to say the Vietnam War was a mistake, sure.
It was a lie. I mean, it's been proven.
Sure.
Yeah.
No disagreement there.
Dadgummit. Thought I had you.
Yeah, I mean, we should have learned the limits of American power there. We haven't always learned that lesson, and we have to keep on relearning it.
What I mean, they knew the outcome. I mean,
actually no. If you go back and read a bunch of stuff, the people at the top level didn't know the outcome. The people on the bottom level did. But the fact is, the information that was sent up was filtered out by the people at the top commands in Vietnam to tell the bosses what they wanted to hear, and that was the problem, because the bosses would fire you if they were not told.
That's the point. We're on the same page with that. It was a lie.
Yeah.
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 And
it was.
But a very few people made a lot of money, though. Very few people made a ton of money off that war.
Yeah, so, yes, but people are making money off a lot of things. I mean, but just because it's
selling sneakers is a little bit different.
Right.
Unless you work in China, you could lose your job.
Right.
I mean, life.
Sure. Well, once again, we're not disagreeing on what happened in Vietnam. Are you trying to tell me that the military-industrial complex forced Vietnam on us? No, I think that there were.
You don't think so? Well, Kennedy was pulling the troops out, and then somehow, some way, he lost his head, and then they turned the troops around.
Well, he was putting troops in too. I mean, with that,
so
there.
It's well documented.
There was something to where he had talked about pulling it out, but he never pulled the trigger on it.
It's because somebody pulled the trigger on him.
On him.
Somebody pulled the trigger on him.
Right. So, but would he have actually followed through? We will never know.
Well, that was his intention.
Yeah,
so.
we knew that he wanted to, but every time he had the opportunity to do so, he didn't.
Well, what he said was, "This is not our war. We're pulling the troops out," and that process had started. Well, I think the people that blew his head off believed him.
Well, you're now talking about a conspiracy of the murder of a president, and we don't quite have the evidence to support that.
Do you know why we don't have the evidence? Because the government buried it.
Or because it does not exist. I mean, there's two separate ways of looking at it.
But it does exist.
How have you seen the evidence to know that?
No, because they hide it out in plain view.
In which case, the thing is, we don't know if the evidence exists or not. It may not. Okay. But my view is we don't make that claim until we know that.
All right, let me phrase this another way.
If we want to open up those files, I'm all for it.
Well, I think 90% of Americans are all for it. Do people typically hide things that are very important because there's nothing to hide?
People hide things for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, but the question was direct.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. Most of the time, in a situation that could be damning, I've noticed that people don't just hide information like this for no reason.
And I understand that concern, but Washington, D.C. is the worst place to keep a secret.
I know they like to say that. And they haven't done it very well, I'll admit. But when you can continue to kick the can down the road and say, we're going to release this information in some odd years, and that keeps passing by, and they continue to say, well, there's still one Secret Service agent alive.
I think that's a mistake. I think
it's not if you want to hide it.
I think transparency is important, and after all these years, open up the boxes. It's simple.
What do you think they want?
I don't know. It could be they're hiding something. It could be something just as simple of we have power because we can classify something as secret. It could be a fear of people will pick and choose what they want to turn up some kind of
that's what's happening. That's what's happening
theory.
Now.
Yeah.
Because they want to release the information.
I still say release it. It's simple.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100%, but they want. What do you think?
Well, you don't like my theory, so.
Well, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, you have.
Well, what is it? Remind me.
That the Secret Service accidentally shot the president because they were
Dan
all
doesn't like that. Dan doesn't
from
like
the
that.
night before, and so they're going to have to keep it under wraps because it's humiliating that they accidentally shot the president.
No, I wasn't laughing at your theory because I've heard that before.
He shot it down cold. But my response to that is you weren't there. They haven't figured it out yet. It could be the very reason it happened.
Well, yeah, I was not there, and I want to make that clear. You know, I wasn't there during the French Revolution either. I did read about it, and this is one of those. This is one of those situations in America in which there are people that I trust. Not that I don't trust the three of you sitting to my left.
I mean, I got that vibe, didn't you?
They believe. They believe
like we were being excluded.
No, I think that maybe is it possible you just don't want to believe our country's capable of that. I have read to where, I mean, there could be as many, logically speaking, 16 shooters that day. You know, just look. You really have to want to believe that Lee Harvey Oswald, with that piece of crap gun, bolt action, was able to do this.
And the CIA accidentally shot him because they were hungover because they stayed out the night before.
Well, who made the decision to arrest Lee Harvey Oswald with the CIA? That would be circling the wagons really quickly and say, look, we got to arrest somebody to cover up our agents shooting the president.
Well, I think he shot him, but I also think the second or third shot, whichever, was the fatal headshot, was accidentally shot by the Secret Service because they were hungover. And that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
That theory's been shot down. No pun intended. Seriously, there's no evidence.
So your theory
there's
is
no
what?
evidence.
There were 16 shooters?
No, I said there are theories that had as many as 16 shooters. That he was in a turkey shoot, as they say. Seriously, it's
that's terrible.
No, but this is put together with witnesses, eyewitnesses that were there, right?
Right.
Smelled gunpowder, street level, and there was and these witnesses. This is very ironic. Met untimely deaths. That's well documented, and that the kill shots came from the sewage drain. And if you look at the way,
that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I know people.
I know you know people.
I know people.
I know,
and they know people.
Yeah, I think it was the CIA because they were hungover.
That's because you'd want to have to believe that. I've read that theory, though. Seriously, I did read into that. I know what you're talking about.
Full metal jacket because there were two different kinds of bullets. And...
this appears to me, and on his deathbed, what's the guy's Hunt? This was the CIA working together with the mob. It appears the most likely scenario to kill Kennedy, because, well, I'm gonna break the CIA into a million pieces. By the way, CIA, if you're listening, I'm quoting the late John Kennedy. I think you're doing a marvelous job overturning governments and whatnot, and lighting a fire to the crack epidemic in Los Angeles, things that we know about. But we just think that they wouldn't do that, and they would go ahead and say, "Well, you know what? If he does, he does." It may not be a good idea to threaten the CIA. That's all I'm saying, Larry. Don't do that. You'll never get another facial. Well, they'll give you a facial. You won't need a facial. You won't have a head. The magic bullet theory, that bullets stopping, hanging a right, hanging a left. It's just ridiculous stuff. And who would let Jack Ruby, a known mafia, low-level mafia guy, with the guy that just shot, allegedly, the President of the United States. I mean, come on. And just think about how quickly they arrested Lee Harvey Oswald. Really?
Didn't he?
With
he
no
was involved
technology.
Didn't he shoot a Dallas police
Allegedly.
officer? Yeah.
Allegedly.
That's how they caught him so quickly.
No, they knew. Well, if your theory was correct, they would have arrested him for shooting a Dallas police officer, not the president's.
But a witness saw him do that and then followed him or watched him go into the movie theater, right? So they were able to send the police to the movie theater to capture him.
But they arrested him and charged him with the murder of the presidents.
So I'm not saying there's not cover up. I'm saying the Secret Service did it because they were hungover. It was an accident.
I ain't buying that for a second. But I did read into that. That was a very interesting theory. You know?
Well, at least I got that out of him, huh, gentlemen?
No, I did read into that a while back. I did. I can't wait till John Avery Emerson's new book on JFK's assassination comes out. Who do you think killed Dr. King, Martin Luther King?
You're asking me? Well, at this point, most people point to James Earl Ray.
Because they've been told to point to him. Now, John Avery Emerson, you know John?
Yeah.
You know John. His uncle Harry was over the Tennessee prison system back when Ray was arrested. And he believed wholeheartedly, well, James Earl Ray did this until he started interviewing James Earl Ray. And he's like, this guy had nothing to do with it. And he got a phone call. No caller ID. Hey, Harry, you like your job? Oh, yeah, I really enjoy it. Don't ever talk to Ray again. Click. And he did, and he was let go. But I could run down the details of that. You can read it in his book. The new edition, updated edition, is coming out soon. You can find it in fine bookstores everywhere. Although there are no fine bookstores everywhere anymore, are there?
We have one.
There's a conspiracy.
We have one.
Oh, yeah, that's still open
Books
out.
A Million,
Bucks a Million. Did you guys used to go down to Davis Kid? I loved Davis Kid.
Yeah, I did.
I miss Davis Kid.
I like to go there and have lunch on a Saturday.
Oh, man, yeah. I used to
lovely.
love it.
Just lovely.
Now a lot of people go to read at Asia Garden.
Really?
Yep. Their longest read would fit into a fortune cookie. That's the last thing they've read.
Oh, I gotcha.
It's an attempt at humor. Tough crowd.
It's a tough crowd. It is. It's a hard room to work.
Yeah.
Well, it's my fault. They say, you got another room you're working. Okay. All right. With that being said, I'm going to take my own advice and dumb down the jokes. Larry, knock, knock.
The look
I
on
can't
his
go any
face
lower
is
than that.
Priceless.
Doc, thank you for getting that.
Thanks for having me.
I was thank you for getting that joke. But I'm certainly pleased that you were here today. Let's end this with some rapid fire.
Oh.
And judging by the text line, there was quite a few people wanted to comment on, should men buy a gift for their wife on Mother's Day? So if you want to go rapid fire on that, please do so. 731-265-6496. Presented by CWA Development. 731-265-6496.
Had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around.
One sentence only rapid fire presented by The Range, Jackson's only indoor shooting range. Date night for two for Mother's Day, you know?
There you go. That's a fun date night.
That is it. You did it with John.
I did.
And you get a gift certificate to
Texas
Roadhouse. Yay, yay. A lane for two targets, 100 rounds of 9mm ammo.
It's kind of sexy.
$99.99.
It's kind of sexy.
It is. You think that's sexy, Larry?
Oh, yeah.
Larry said, oh, yeah.
Larry said, you know what? I'm going to get my feet scraped.
I'm not going to disagree with Gina. She's sitting too close.
All right. One sentence and one sentence only rapid fire presented by The Range. The website is gototherange.com, gototherange.com. One sentence from you.
The Mother's Day thing.
Yep.
I just wanted to, I don't usually chime into stuff like this, but I feel a need to do it this time. There's only one reason why this woman is a mother, and that has something to do with him. And so he takes to own some of this and take some ownership of it, and maybe let her know she's doing a good job. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Thank you. What do you say to that? That's the...
I'm always going to be pro-gift. Always.
One sentence from you. That's you.
Yeah, so we're talking about Mother's Day, and my husband, he not only buys flowers for me, but he also brings flowers home for my 4-year-old daughter and my grandma.
Oh,
well,
you just got to step up to the plate and show our daughter that that's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. One sentence from you.
My mom got me a card for my first Mother's Day. You know, my daughter was almost 10 months old for my first Mother's Day, but yeah, my mom got me a card.
Go, Mama.
Well, that's cool, isn't it? You get your girls something for Mother's Day.
No, but they get me something.
Rapid fire. That's all the time we have for today. Sorry, you're going to have to leave some people on the line, but we'll get you tomorrow, I promise. I don't forget Mulligan's, Thompson Farm, step in tonight, have a nice, best Bloody Marys in town.
That sounds
Have some dinner.
yummy.
Well, let's do that. Take a Bloody Mary and tuna sandwich. That'd be good.
That sounds good.
I may go with a turkey Reuben. That's what I do. Turkey Reuben, an extra crispy tater tots for dinner, and throw back a couple of Bloody Marys.
You're making me hungry.
Oh, that'd be good. That's why Mulligan's is there to take care of your hunger pains. MulligansJackson.com. Don't forget the lunch specials Monday through Friday between 11 and 2. That's all the time we have today. Gina, I love you.
So
Enjoyed
much
yourself.
fun. So much fun.
Had a great time today. Larry was here too. Larry Newman. Enjoyed it, Larry. Good to see you always, sir.
Good to see you.
I'm going to try to get the vision of you having your feet scraped out of my head before I try to sleep tonight, or I'm going to have a nightmare. Dr. Sean Evans, head of the Political Science Department, Political Science at Union University. Dr. Evans, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Always great to have you here, sir. Nothing but respect for you, my friend. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Absolutely.
Why are your fingers crossed?
Yeah.
Why are your toes crossed? Have a wonderful evening, folks. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it very much. You can watch the replay of this show at newstalk965.com from the Gene Langley Ford Studio in Jackson, Tennessee. Now, also, if you've not downloaded our free mobile apps for News Talk 96.5 FM, be sure to do so. They fit Apple and they fit Android products. And visit our website, newstalk965.com. We think it's the best one in West Tennessee. For Larry and Gina and Dr. Evans, my name's Dan Reeves. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening.
Oh, you and I, you kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. 'Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM, 96.5 FM, Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters reporting. Charges have been filed in that SUV that slammed into a bus stop in Brownsville, Texas, killing 8 people and injuring 10. Brownsville Police Chief Felix Sauceda says the driver's been